Matt Reeves' Batman. Is this film coming out? I don't know. Has it already lost a director? Yes. Does it have a new director? Yes. Does it have a release date? No. Does it have a script? Maybe. Does it even have a Batman? I don't know. You're asking yourself, well, what can we do with this film and what should we do with this film? It's okay. I have you covered. So the alleged Matt Reeves Batman film, taking place in the DCEU, or the world of DC, whatever they're calling it. I'm going to continue to call it the DCEU because you had a year to correct us and you never did. But let's get to the heart of the matter. Batfleck or no Batfleck? Listen, if Ben Affleck wants to do it, great. If he doesn't want to do it, then don't make him do it. But just recast the role. Keep all of the side players the same, but just recast Batman. So just keep Jeremy Irons as Alfred, because you want to ensure that this still stays in the DCEU. But you don't want to make it the center of focus. All you have to do is allude to it, or you can have a simple cameo from Henry Cavill's Clark Kent. You just need to have him show up, say a few lines to Bruce, and then fly off. Because that way you can hint that yes, this does belong to the bigger universe, but you do not have to dwell on it. But when it comes to the actual story, let's pick our influences very carefully. Here are a couple of things not to pull from. Year 1 in The Dark Knight Returns, because these stories have been done to death. You had Batman Begins pull heavily from Year 1, and you also had The Dark Knight Rises and Batman v Superman both pull heavily from The Dark Knight Returns. I am personally sick of seeing First Day on the Job Batman and Last Day on the Job Batman. I want to see Batman at the top of his game, doing Batman things. Stuff you can pull from, however. Anything else. Stuff like the occult or death of a family. You can even get crazy and pull from a lot of the newer stuff like Batman R.I.P. or Batman Endgame. Like every time I try to read current Batman, he dies. Take some influence from the Arkham games. You can have the entire story take place over one night. Like Die Hard or the Arkham games. So you can start the film off at Wayne's Corp. And that would be a good place to have the dialogue between Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent. Then you can do my personal favorite shot of Batman ever. It's him sitting in the offices of Wayne's Corp, watching the sun slowly set. And when it finally does, that's when the bat signal comes on. Then you have Bruce Wayne put on the Batman suit and it's off to the races. So after that, give it 4 or 5 minutes to make the audience feel what it's like to be Batman. Because here would be a good time to introduce the Batman allies. Whoever you want to have in the story, you can have Jim Gordon, Oracle, Batgirl, Nightwing. List is up to you. Because now would be a good time for the audience to know that they are in the story, but they're going to be seen later on the line, but they are here. And after that, now you can start the plot. But as far as the story itself, make it a hard-boiled detective film. Make it elaborate. Make Batman have to bounce back and forth throughout Gotham until the large conspiracy is finally revealed. But you don't have Batman know that something is sinister going on from the get-go. So you just have a small inciting incident. So you use that as the small thread that Batman pulls on until he unravels the entire sweater. That way you can have Weezer do the theme song. From there, tensions build, and that's whenever Batman figures out what the true plot is and who the true villains are. Not the Joker. Don't get me wrong, you should definitely have the Joker in it, but you shouldn't try and make him the big bad. You should use Joker as the wild card. Have whoever the big bad is think that they are manipulating Joker, only for Joker to turn it all on its head in the final act. But in this movie, you also want a myriad of villains that you just throw at Batman. So you have Batman having to bounce around the entire plot, going from one villain to the next. Because Batman has a huge rogues gallery. So have fun with it and just throw villains at the screen. You can have big mainstays like Mr. Freeze and Toothpaste. Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, the Riddler, the Penguin. You can also do smaller villains like Zsasz or the Mad Hatter. You can have Batman find unique ways to defeat them all. Show the intelligence of Batman. Have the Dark Knight defeat them in all different ways. Don't just have Batman punch them all in the face, but also make sure Batman punches a lot of people in the face. Every couple of minutes, we should see Batman knuckling some criminal. We should also see Batman's gadgets in full effect. Batarangs, Batclaw, Batmobile, Batcopter, Bat Shark Spray, you name it, use it. By the end of this, you want the audience to feel like they have seen everything that is in Batman's arsenal. You want them to see his mind and body and spirit all thrown at the camera. Because then we can see Batman's greatest superpower. Not his money, not his karate, but his mental strength. Because you want to put Batman through the ringer. Because by the end of this, you should see Batman stretch to his mental limits. Beaten up, his suit's tattered, but he still is persevering. Because before the big end, you want the audience to ask themselves, how is Batman even taking another step right now? But when Batman is at his lowest, that's whenever you want to show the big villain. You want a very cerebral main villain. And for them to have the hubris enough to think that they can socially engineer the criminals of Gotham. An intelligent space villain like Hugo Strange or the Court of Owls. Perfect, because they're a newer entity that fans themselves might not be suspecting. And their gimmick is that they try to socially engineer Gotham. So you use them as the big conspirator force of trying to rally around the villains of Gotham. All for the main goal of something dastardly. So in the finale of it, you have Batman on his last leg going against some entity he didn't even know existed. And they have Batman on the back foot. And just whenever it feels like he's about to lose, that's whenever you have your Ex Machina moment. It's not Nightwing, it's not Robin, it's not Batgirl, it's not even Superman. It's the Joker. And he's not even doing it to save Batman. He's doing it just to throw a wrench in the Court of Owls plan. Then you can have Batman defeat the main villains with the aid of the Joker. And then after that you have a one-on-one with Batman and the Joker. You're going to have a dragon out fight between the two of them. And then while they're having their dust up, that's whenever you can lift the last couple of pages of the Killing Joke. But after it's all said and done, you end the movie with the sun rising over Gotham, Bruce Wayne taking off his batsuit, only to put on a normal suit and go into the offices of Wayne Enterprises. Thank you guys so much for watching. What are your thoughts? What do you think should happen in the Batman film? Please comment below, let me know. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.